public ownership.
Thank you, Chris. Just before I start my talk, I'd just like to thank, might be worth thanking Chris at this point for the hard work and the people who helped organise tonight. Thank you, Chris. Okay, very mindful that everyone's looking to leave given the time, but I just want to start by saying, quite simply, in 2020 there will be a general election. Jeremy Corbyn will be our new Prime Minister, and our railways will be reclaimed, renationalised and ran for the good of Britain.
Yeah.
So what's privatisation actually cost the working people of Britain? The total cost so far is a staggering £11 billion. That's your money. It's probably worth noting at this point that private companies have only invested £423 million since the great train robbery of privatisation. In short, the British taxpayer is subsidising, supporting and bailing out massive companies for no other reason than they're being allowed to stifle your money and fair-paying passengers' money right across this country. We need decent, safe and affordable train services. Chief executives are creaming salaries of upwards of £500,000. Meanwhile, they're attacking working conditions, cutting staff and closing pension schemes because of their warped views on austerity. Did you know that we have the most expensive fares in Europe? In fact, across the world in some cases. Fares have risen by an average of 23%, but we can actually reduce fares by around 10% if we renationalised our railways. Across in Europe, their train services and their wider rail infrastructure is there or thereabouts 80% state-owned. However, they currently have, and are entitled to under the current rules, to own, in whole or part, UK rail franchises. But the bizarre practice gets worse because we are now being told, ironically by Eurosceptic Conservatives, that we can't renationalise our railways because of EU law. But when you delve into the detail of these directives, what you learn is that if you operate under franchising and a competitive system, you must play by those rules. However, like Germany and France, if you choose as a nation to only own your country's railway, then there is no franchising, therefore you don't have to abide by those rules. Resulting in these directives being irrelevant, and ultimately, under a nationalised rail industry, the government of the day will be accountable to the British people if it fails to deliver in its commitments to rail. Now, there are numerous other reasons why privatisation doesn't work, but I would like to focus on what we must do to get our railways back. We need to use the next 5 years to plan and prepare. Like most of you, I assume we'd like to snatch back our railways before breakfast tomorrow morning. But we must be rational on renationalisation. And the best way of doing that is to claim back the franchises as they expire. Or if the train operating companies no longer wish to hold their franchises, they can hand them back, subject to strict conditions. We can't allow a smash and grab, and we can't allow companies to leave the cupboards empty. My belief is that a nationalised Britain's railway must be run safely, professionally, it must attract passengers, and it must be value for money for those that use it. With the appropriate investments, perhaps something similar to the bailouts given to the bankers, we could put money into our railways, and in my opinion, it'll be money well spent. We can grow communities, create skilled, decent jobs, and provide a railway fit for purpose. Another potential route of funding could come from the intended budget for Trident. Equally, those workers who are rightly concerned about their jobs in our defence sector, their skills could be used to help design, manufacture and build trains and infrastructure that the rest of the world will look on in envy. We should strive to be the best. Investment, upkeep and delivering good services will and should require a firm hand on the finances. Therefore, a renationalised railway must be subject to scrutiny. Equally, contrary to popular belief, trade unions like mine can and will offer suggestions on how to save and get the best value for money. But that doesn't mean job cuts or service reductions or ripping off supplies. It means looking after people, workers and passengers together, helping build a decent railway. Nationalisation gives us the opportunity to have a circle of investment in our railways, meaning the money made can be reinvested in our railways. Those more profitable lines can help fund smaller lines. There's clearly a demand for rail, but in order to attract passengers, particularly in small towns, the services need to be punctual, clean, feel and be safe to travel on. This debate of ideas will continue. It is absolutely possible, it is absolutely necessary to renationalise our railways. In closing, a policy on renationalising is a winning policy. It sends a clear signal that New Labour is the past and True Labour is back. Thank you.